This has to be the tiniest apartment in this part of Manhattan, and we're in Murray Hill, and the space you see here is the entire apartment. Now you have the kitchen all the way in front of me, and behind me is the bathroom. We actually have a decent kitchen. It has some stainless steel appliances with a dishwasher and microwave. And now this is definitely a uniquely shaped apartment, to say the least. Now to my right, we have door number 1, which does lead you to this also very interesting closet. And in front of me is the bathroom door. And again, this is going to be pretty much the entire space of this apartment. We have a nice stand-up shower. Now the bathroom is actually decent as well. You would be pretty surprised at other tiny apartments in the city. So on the bright side, this is the absolute cheapest apartment in this entire building. I'm sure that does not come as a shocker to any of you, but hey, I don't make the prices. This is a very, very tiny apartment, but honestly, I still think the kitchen is decent. You're probably wondering, what is the total rent price for this Murray Hill apartment?
Oh boy, here we go.
And that's $2,595 a month.
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
As I continue my pursuit of a financially free lifestyle through dividend investing, I always like to look at other people, right? And other content creators and other channels here on YouTube that have already achieved some level, at least, of what it is that I myself hope to accomplish someday before I can no longer move up and down a flight of stairs without assistance. And I think it's important to take advantage of the data that we have access to in order to take notes and to capitalize on the documented mistakes of others. So while the vast majority of us, according to every major publication on American finance, while we are over here in the United States struggling to survive, going broke trying to live in these expensive ass cities like New York and California, there are other people adjusting their living situation to fit their needs. Let me show you what I mean.
This is called my life compared to yours. Now, dividend investment has afforded me a lifestyle that I couldn't otherwise have had here in the Philippines. And Philippines is a great place, I got to tell you. But if I hadn't invested in dividends, I would have been spending cash. It would have drained down significantly. But because of the dividend income I get on my portfolio, I can literally just stay almost anywhere in the world based on about a 2 to 3K a month in dividend income. Now, if I was going to do that in the States, you wouldn't have this kind of opportunity, honestly, because it takes a lot to live in the States. You don't know what it takes to live in the States, man. My rent, before I, right after I got divorced, actually, my rent on a 2-bedroom, 1-bath place in a kind of ghetto type place was over $1,500 a month. And the place had murders and arson and all kinds of stuff going on. Now I'm living in a house here in Iloilo, and I'm seeing stuff like this on a weekly basis at times and travel whenever I want. And everything's affordable here. You can do anything you want here, and it's not going to cost you arm and leg. In the States, they don't even have stuff like this, maybe far and few in between anyway. But these resorts are plentiful, and they're affordable. That's what I love about the Philippines. So that dividend income, that passive income I get, it literally can afford me this lifestyle here in the Philippines, whereas I couldn't have done it in the States. And here I am doing this kind of life that I've never lived before, really, to be honest. I've never seen stuff like this outside my military time, maybe, but I'm here all the time. I do this on a weekly, and that's the great thing about it. I don't think I'm coming back to the States, to be honest. I think I could stay here and probably apply for my Social Security remotely or through the embassy here, more than likely, and that's probably what I'll do.
So this guy has a YouTube channel called Stock Dog in the Philippines, and he recently saw one of my videos and gave me a shout out. So shout out to him. Go check him out. But his comment on one of my videos made me take a good long look at his content. And what you just saw was one of the videos I ran across, and I thought it was so very fitting to talk about, because While I am unable to follow in his particular footsteps and uproot my life and move to the Philippines, I don't think my wife would go for it, honestly. But I absolutely think that there's something that we can all learn from this clip. The main point being, you can't afford the damn city that you live in. Let me say that again. You all who want to move to these big, expensive ass cities cannot afford it. That's right, I'm talking to you. All of you who have decided, for whatever reason, to live in these states that have ridiculous tax rates, ridiculous prices for basic necessities, and a ridiculous cost of living, just so you can be in a place that is culturally recognized on Instagram and TikTok. And then, do you know what the response is to that usually is? You know what the response is? Oh, I can't afford to move. No, you can't afford not to move. You can't afford to stay in the city paying $2,000 in rent to live in a closet. Investing is about tailoring every area of your lifestyle to fit your budget, not the other way around. I think we have it backwards in this economy. We want to run out, buy whatever it is that we want, spend money frivolously, dig ourselves into a financial hole, and then try to do damage control after the fact. If you know that you only make $2,500 a month, why are you living like you make $4,000? Why are we still financing cars with insane interest rates and inflated monthly payments that we cannot afford? You done signed up. You done went and signed the papers for a car that you can't even afford to insure. Or worse, you go and lease a car. Being financially secure and achieving that freedom is about managing the controllables. Newsflash, you can control where it is that you live. You can control the kind of car that you drive. You can control the money you spend on food and cooking at home. You can control the amount of money you spend on clothes. And believe it or not, by having agency over all of those areas of your life, then by default, then it becomes easy to control your credit card and your debt that are kicking your ass every single month because you can't afford the payments for it. This isn't rocket science that we're doing here, people. It's just basic math and simple principles. But you gotta break free. You gotta break away from societal norms in order to do it. I never said it would be easy, but we have to stop making it normal to go into debt for things that we don't need to impress people that do not matter. Just watch how your life changes. I promise you, if you follow this method. I know someone personally that cries and whines about debt all the time. And when you pull out the microscope and begin to take a fine-tooth comb to investigate why their life is in a state of financial crisis, you find out that they financed a 2024 SUV. They spending $300 a month on swim lessons for their kid. They done moved far away from all of their family support, so now they got to drive dozens of miles versus 6 or 7 to get somebody to watch that kid, or they got to pay for a daycare or babysitter. They always on a flight somewhere. They always at a concert somewhere. They always got their hair cut or nails done. And when you question them about these things, then they get an attitude. You question them about these things that they can potentially cut out of their lives. The response is, well, you only live once. You can't take none of the money with you. And the reasoning always baffles me. I'm going to tell you why. The reason it baffles me when people say this is because while it's true that you do, in fact, only live once, your particular state of living is literal hell on earth because you so stressed out about how much debt you in that it keeps you up at night. And I ask you, is that what you call living? Who would want to live this way? You are so stressed about bills. You are so stressed about how much debt you're in. You are so stressed about how you can't afford to pay your monthly bills from month to month to month, and every single time you get some money, it seems like it's going right out the door, you are so stressed about all of these things. And you're telling me that the reason that you choose not to tailor your lifestyle, to cut back on your expenses, is because you only live once? Well, who wants that once in a lifetime? Who wants that one lifetime to be hell? To be financial hell? I've gone to sleep worrying about bills. I've gone to sleep worrying about tomorrow, worrying about next week, worrying about what I know what it feels like to worry about where this check is coming from, where the next check is going to come from in order for me to pay these bills, to keep the lights on and the heat on and food on the table. I know what it feels like. I know y'all desperate. That's why a lot of y'all start signing up for courses out here. That's why a lot of y'all start paying people to get your finances in order when you can just do it yourself. Again, we ain't doing rocket science over here on this channel. This is just basic math and basic principles. And if you follow them, I promise you, you will 1000% be in a better position tomorrow than you was today. So with that, we're going to go right into one of the investments that I think is worth your money. If you don't, it's cool. It's cool. Hey, listen, hey, I don't have a problem with opposing opinions on this channel. That's not why we're here. I'm just here to provide facts and knowledge. That's it. So let's kick it. Let's talk about it. Y'all know where I'm going. Stockanalysis.com. Stockanalysis.com. What I have pulled up is one of my investments in one of my dividend portfolios. This is a monthly paying dividend stock. And while that is the main attraction of this particular stock, I do want to caution you that you may want to invest into the history of this company and the history of the farming industry, and find out a little bit more information about what's happening out here before you invest in this one. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, farmers used to be the backbone of our society. Farmers used to be the backbone of our society here in America. They used to be the people that you could look to, that when everything else was failing, while we was out testing chemicals and on products and trying to figure out how to manufacture this, we could always come back to the farmland and get that real food. Farmers were the backbone of our country and of our economy. However, things are changing. Things are changing. And a lot of farmers, quite frankly, have been pushed out. They've been pushed out. They've been pushed out by the government who want to come in. They want that land. They want their methods. A lot of these farmers went on to try to sign contracts, right? They sign these multi-million-dollar contracts and get into these relationships where they are connected to a government or intergovernmental entity, right? Or a company. For millions of dollars, they signed it. And little did they know that their entire life and the way that they did things was going to change. Because guess what? Now the company that's coming in there to take over that land, they want to do it their way. And in a contract that you didn't really fully read or vet, you didn't go over the part that said that you got to do whatever it is that they say now. That you got to operate. They bringing their people in. It's not you running your farm anymore. It's no more family business when you sign them government contracts. Many farmers did not negotiate that part of the contract. They signed it because they saw the millions of dollars sitting there and they said, we made it. Here you go. But what you didn't know was that meant you gave up a lot of your own rights on your own property. So, however, I still believe in farmland. I still believe that farming is such a vital part of our economy and our country. And I firmly believe that it's never going anywhere. I firmly believe that. Even if we had to start back over, even if we had to start back over at zero, do you know what would be at the top of that? Farming would be would be one of the most crucial things and assets that we could provide in our economy. Farming, farming, farming. I strongly believe in it. So that is why I have Gladstone Land Corporation pulled up, just to give you a quick oversight of what this is. Founded in 1997, Gladstone Land is a publicly traded real estate investment trust that acquires and owns farmland and farm-related properties located in major agricultural markets in the U.S. and leases its properties to unrelated third-party farmers. The company, which reports the aggregate fair value of its farmland holdings on a quarterly basis, currently owns 169 farms comprised of approximately 116,000 acres in 15 different states and over 45,000 acre-feet of banked water in California, valued at a total of approximately $1.6 billion. $1.6 billion. All right? That's what we're dealing with when we're talking about Gladstone Land. Okay? There's more information here if you all want to read it. I will not read the entire thing. I will, however, get to the overview. Let's see how this thing has been performing. Currently, right now, at $13.74 per share. Let's go to the max chart. Max chart, again, the company has been around since 1997. That does not mean that they IPO'd then. The IPO date, I believe, is in 2013. Let me see if I can verify that. Yeah, so we IPO'd back in 2013. So we've had about 10 years of production. 10 years of running a business, 10 years of this particular stock being on the stock exchange. And it has performed not well. In 10 years, you could have took whatever it was that you invested in this company and made bank if you had placed it somewhere else, such as Apple or even Coca-Cola for that matter. But hindsight is always what? 2020. So let me tell you right now, for those of you looking to invest in Gladstone Land Corporation, here's one of the things I'm going to tell you not to expect. Please do not expect a high return in asset appreciation. Let me say that again. If you are looking to invest in Gladstone Land Corporation, you will not. The chances are that you are not going to be getting your value from a great increase in asset appreciation as time goes on, just because of the way things are going right now. Listen, it's rocky out there. However, does that mean that Gladstone Land Corporation is a bad investment? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, it's down 9%, almost 10% on the max chart. However, if you had invested, let's just say 100,000. Let's go smaller. Let's say you had invested $1,000. Back when this thing first IPO, would you have gained much in the price appreciation? No. Would you have made some money in dividends, however? Absolutely. 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 So let's go to the 5 years, up 17% over the course of the last 5 years. 1 year chart, down nearly 2.5%. Year to date, nearly 5%. The month chart, we don't really need to talk about that. I do want to go into the financials a little bit. And once you go into the financials, I'm going to go to the cash flow sheet because I want to see what's happening. I want to see how much operating cash flow they have. And I also want to know what their free cash flow is looking like, right? Free cash flow is the mother of all. So when you go to the net cash flow, again, for those that don't know, net cash flow equals the operating cash flow plus investing cash flow, oh my God, plus the finances. See, I've been talking too long. That's how I know. So we're going to get out of here in a second. Their charts haven't been looking that great for 2023, but if you look previously, the year 2022 and previously, they've been doing well. Let's go to the forecast. The three analysts with a 12-month price forecast for Gladstone Land stock have an average target of $17.33 with a low estimate of 16 and a high estimate of 20. Remember that the analysts that they are pulling in to give these estimations are normal people like you and I with opinions. All right, that's all that means. But they're saying they do see this as with a high of $20. That is very optimistic. I'm gonna tell you right now, a high of 20 is optimistic for Gladstone land, in my opinion, in my estimation. All right, but let's go to the dividend. The dividend yield right now, I don't remember it being 4%. They must have increased it. I remember it being 3% some months ago. So they probably increased it. So right now the dividend yield is 4%, which is an annual dividend of 56 cents per share. Again, this is a monthly paying dividend stock. Monthly, which is drawing a lot of people into this. I don't have a problem. Here you can see the dividend chart. Since back in 2014, it has done nothing but increase. I do like to see that. The growth has slowed down. That's okay, though. See, you have to, listen, before I get out of here, let me say this. You have to build your portfolio according to your needs and according to what it is, what your goals are. If you don't have any reserves about owning a company like Gladstone Land Corporation, because you're not that invested in the growth and you're here for the dividend, then let that be your purpose and let that be your reason, and then just live with it. Just live with it. The good, the bad, the ugly, live with it. Live with it. I'm okay. Again, this is a very small position of my dividend portfolio. I only have about $200 of this in my portfolio right now. Am I likely to increase that dollar amount? Yeah, I am. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to add more to my portfolio. But you got to do what's best for you. That being said, y'all, let me know what y'all think down in the comments about ticker symbol LAND. Listen, I'll see you all in the next one. Later.